I'm Kelly from Culikid, and today we're going to learn how to make overnight oatmeal. So this is a really great recipe for beginner cooks because it doesn't require any heat, and we're only going to use a knife to cut up our strawberries, which are optional toppings. This is also a great way to meal prep, where we're going to put everything all together, put it in the fridge overnight, and then in the morning you'll have a delicious, healthy breakfast that's ready to go. So before we get started, we always make sure we have all of our ingredients and supplies. For this, we'll need our oats, of course. These are rolled oats. We'll need some milk and peanut butter, maple syrup, vanilla extract, and a little bit of salt. And then for our toppings, we're gonna do a peanut butter and jelly flavor. So we've got our peanut butter already. And for our toppings, we're gonna use peanuts, strawberries, and blackberry jam. But you could use strawberry jam, a different kind of jelly, whatever you have. You can also do different flavors and mix it up with different fruits and different nuts, different toppings, whatever you like. And then for our supplies, we're going to use this mason jar to put everything together, but you can use a Tupperware or some kind of container that has a lid, or you can put plastic wrap or something like that on it. And then we'll need a bunch of measuring cups and spoons. We'll need regular spoons for mixing up our ingredients. And then I have a small cutting board and a knife over here for chopping up our strawberries. So now that we have all of that, we're ready to get started. Okay, and before we cook, we always make sure we wash our hands, so go ahead and do that if you haven't yet. I have, so I'm ready to get started. And so, like I said, we're gonna put everything into our mason jar. So I'm gonna just measure everything and mix it right in here, nice and an easy cleanup too. So the first ingredient we're going to add is going to be our milk. You need half a cup of milk. So you find your half cup on your measuring cup, your line. We'll get down to eye level. And then pour it right up to the line, right up to the half cup. And I'm using dairy milk, but you can use almond milk or any other kind. And we'll pour it into our mason jar. And the next thing we'll add will be our peanut butter. So for our peanut butter, we're going to do 2 tablespoons. So we grab our tablespoon and scoop it out. And pour that into your milk, and you might need to use your finger, your clean finger, or a spoon to get it all in. And we're going to do our second one. And we're going to use the same tablespoon for our maple syrup. So we're going to wash our hands, our tablespoon, and be right back. Okay, and now we're ready to add our maple syrup, and for that we're just going to do 1 tablespoon. You can also use another sweetener if you have honey, agave, something like that. That would be great. So we'll fill up our 1 tablespoon measuring spoon, nice and slow so it doesn't overflow, and pour that in. Next, we will do a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So we have our 1/4 teaspoon, and we'll pour again nice and slow because you just need a little. Add a little flavor to that. Pour that in. And then we're going to add our salt. So we're just going to do a pinch. So I'm just going to pour some into my hand. Take 3 fingers, thumb and these 2, and pinch them together. Pinch them in my hand and grab the salt and then sprinkle it into your oatmeal. Okay, and now we will grab a spoon and mix it all up. Okay, we've still got some peanut butter clumps in here, but that's okay because that will be kind of nice when we eat it. We'll get some pieces with some more peanut butter, with some less peanut butter. And so that's our base right there, ready to go. And now we're gonna add our oats. So we need half a cup. So we grab our half cup measuring cup And we'll just scoop this out. Make sure it's nice and level, so if you have to, level it out with your hand or with the back of a utensil, with like the back of a spoon or something. And then we're gonna pour it in. Might be a little bit hard, so I'm just gonna grab a spoon to get it into this small slot. Okay, and I lost a little bit, but that's okay. And we'll give this another mix. Okay, and I just tried to break up that peanut butter a little bit more. And then if you have any that are floating at the top, you'll just need to push them down. You want to make sure all of your oats are completely in the liquid, so that way they will get nice and soft as they sit in the liquid overnight. So that is it for our base. We're going to put the lid on. Okay, and put this in our fridge. So if that's all you wanted to do, you'd be done. We're gonna show you some toppings to get a nice flavor out of this. And I'm gonna clean up really quick and then come right back. Okay, so now we're ready to get started on our toppings. As I mentioned, we're going for a peanut butter and jelly flavor. So we've got our peanuts, strawberries, and jam. Now, use a different nut, use a different fruit, use a different jam. Leave out the stuff you don't like, add in more stuff that you do like. This is just one example of what you could do. So the other thing that you'll need that we didn't mention yet is some containers to put your toppings in. So we are going to measure out the amount of nuts that we want beforehand and get them in a container so they're ready to go. And they're not going to go in the fridge. They'll stay on the counter with us overnight. So that's one bowl for that. Then the chopped strawberries and the jam are going to go into a container and they're going to go in the fridge. So we have one bowl for that. So likely you'll need a non-fridge bowl and a fridge bowl, but maybe, you know, depending on your ingredients, you might need more, you might need less. So let's get started with our peanuts. We're gonna do 2 tablespoons of that. So we have our clean tablespoon, and so we just simply open it up and measure it out. If you wanted to chop them up, go ahead. We're just gonna leave them to make it easier for ourselves. So the peanuts are done. We put our cover on and put that on the counter for tomorrow morning. Now we're going to do our jam. So we're going to do about a tablespoon. So we'll just take this and wipe it off since we used it with the peanuts. We're going to just give this a little mix if it needs it. And scoop out our tablespoon and use our same spoon to scoop it out of the measuring spoon. Okay, and we're done with our jam. So then next we're going to do the strawberries. So I have about 4 here, and the way to do this is to remove the top. The best way to do this so you don't lose strawberries is to slice into the top and twist around. However, this might be a little bit advanced, and see, the knife is pretty close to my fingers and it's moving around a lot. So the other option is to just slice it off. So we find the spot on our strawberry that's closest, gets off all the leaves, but leaves us with the most strawberries, and we just slice it off. That's nice and easy. Something that you can do with even like a plastic or a butter knife. So this is something that a child or teen can totally help with or do. Okay, and we'll get rid of our tops. And we'll just cut these into the size that we want. So we'll start by halving them, but I think that I want to go even smaller. So I'm going to cut them again into half down and then into quarters quarters of my half. So we have these little pieces. We'll put them in our bowl with our jam. This is from our old strawberries. We can get rid of them. Okay, and we'll do the same for all the rest. Our bigger strawberries we'll probably cut into more pieces, so they'll be the same size as our smaller strawberries. Okay, and when we're done with that, we'll just put that into our bowl. And cover that up, and this will go in the fridge too. So we're going to let this sit overnight. But in the morning, once it's done, you take out your oats, you'll open this up, you'll take your strawberries and scoop them in with a spoon, making sure to scrape the bottom and get your jam. Then you'll pour in your peanuts on top. You'll pour in that whole thing. And then you can just dig in right from here. You can grab a spoon and just start eating. You can pour this into another bowl if it's easier for you. But there you go, you've made yourself a delicious, easy breakfast that's ready for you in the morning. Enjoy.